Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, it's statement time. Next order, clerk.
Commencement of business. Order number 8. And it is a motion. Adoption of the report of the PICPAC committee on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Kisumu County, Kalon, and Mortgage Scheme Fund financial year 2023-2024 by Honorable Kennedy Ouko. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, what is it, Honorable Were?
Madam Speaker, I want to move a motion on behalf of Kennedy Ouko.
Okay, I thought you'd wait for my permission to give you the go-ahead. Yeah, honorable members, I'm in communication from the chair, who is out on official duty, and he requested for permission to allow any of the members to move the motion. So you'll go ahead, Honorable Were.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to move a motion on report of the Auditor General on the financial statements on the Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th June 2024. And Madam Speaker, I would wish to seek the leave of the House to use a moving note. Madam Speaker, on behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, PICPAC, and pursuant to Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders 188, I wish to present to this House the report on committee of the audited financial statement of Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the financial year 2023-2024. Madam Speaker, Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme was established on 1st May 2014 with an initial amount of 250 million and a further 32.2 million for the CEC members. However, the County Assembly divorced under the KCB Bank on 24th May 2017. The fund, as it is today, only deals with the County Executive Committee member and its staff. As such, it is one of the county public funds subject to audit by the Office of the Auditor General in line with Article 229/4/B of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Madam Speaker, the Public Accounts and Investment Committee is the watchdog committee that examines the Auditor General's report laid before this House to ensure probity, efficiency, effectiveness in the use of public resources. The committee is established pursuant to Standing Orders 188 to examine the accounts showing appropriations of sum voted by this House to meet the public expenditure and of such other accounts laid before the House as the committee may think fit. This ensures implementation of Article 229/8 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 on reports submitted to this House by the Auditor General. Madam Speaker, the committee held 3 sittings during which it received both written and oral evidence from the accounting officers, the fund administrator on the audit queries raised by the Auditor General on the financial statement of Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the financial year 2023-2024. Madam Speaker, the Auditor General issued an qualified opinion on the financial statement of the fund for the financial year under review. This means that the financial records were found to present a true and fair view of the fund's operation and financial positions and were in compliance with the applicable accounting standards. However, Madam Speaker, the Auditor General raised 2 significant concerns under other matters section of the audit report. The first issue was with respect to the budget control and performance, during the year under review, the fund had projected to earn 1,459,207 as interest income. However, it only realized 1,059,701, resulting in an underperformance of the Kenya shillings 399,506. Madam Speaker, this shortfall arose from the overestimation of income based on the assumption that the fund would receive additional disbursement from the county executive, which did not materialize. As a result, the interest income earned was derived safely from loan recoveries made from existing clients. The second issue, Madam Speaker, relates to the inadequate capitalization of Fund Regulation 5 of the Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund Regulation 2016, which stipulates that the fund shall consist of 60 million of car loans and Kenya shillings 100 million for the mortgage loans, totaling to Kenya shillings 160 million. However, since its inception, the county government has only injected Kenya shillings 47 million into the fund. As reflected in the financial statement, the revolving fund balance as at 30th June 2024 stood at Kenya shillings 47,295,000, indicating a capital shortfall of 112,705,000. This situation places the fund in a clear breach of its own governing regulations. Madam Speaker, following the deliberations on these issues and a meeting with both the fund management and the Office of Auditor General, the committee has recommended that the fund management should adopt a more realistic and evidence-based approach to budgeting for the interest income, ensuring that projections are grounded in confirmed financial commitments rather than speculative disbursements. Second, with regard to the inadequate capitalizations and observing that since inception, only 47 million have been injected into the fund out of a total of Kenya shillings 160 million, pursuant to regulations, the committee recommends that the committee should initiate a review of the fund regulation to align the capital requirements with the county current fiscal realities, subject to the approval of the county assembly, rather than continuously violating its own regulation. Madam Speaker, I wish to sincerely thank members of this committee for their diligence, commitment, professionalism throughout the course of this review. I also extend our appreciation to the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk of the Assembly, the Committee Secretariat, and the Office of Auditor General for their continued technical support and cooperation, which contributed immensely to the culmination of this report. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, I now wish to present this report on consideration of Auditor General's report on financial statement of Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the financial year 2023-2024. And Madam Speaker, I would now wish to ask Honorable Nyaoke to second. Thank you.
Honorable Tom Nyaoke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to first of all thank the Big Pack Committee led by Honorable Ouko for a good report that has come before us. And Madam Speaker, I want to extensively also send also my appreciation to the implementation committee. Madam Speaker, as you can see, this report has been given unqualified opinion by the Auditor General. That one demonstrates that some of the recommendations that had been previously given, Madam Speaker, were looked into, and that the reporting this time round took the right trajectory. Madam Speaker, the committee has also indicated to us the observation that they actually got in this, and that is something which is very understandable, that the projection of the fund in terms of the interest they were expecting were not met accordingly. As you can see, it has been shown that they had some shortfall, which is actually an overestimation of what they expected as interest, Madam Speaker. But then the committee is recommending a very simple and vital recommendation that going forward or next time, they should be able to give a reasonable projection that the fund is able to meet. Madam Speaker, if we continue in this manner, I think our fund will have a clean bill of health, as it is a fund which is very important even to the members. And as Kisumu County, it is necessary that they abide with all the necessary PMF acts and even the relevant statutory requirements that they are supposed to meet in terms of reporting. Madam Speaker, with that few remarks, I stand to second. Thank you.
Honorable members, and now that the report by the Public Accounts and Investments Committee on the report on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on financial statements of the Kisumu County Executive Kalon and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th of June 2024 has been presented and seconded. And as per standing orders, I want to propose a question. And I propose that this report is now open for debate. Yes, Honorable Mildred Ajumbo of Central Seme Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to support the reports given by the Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the consideration of the Auditor General's report on financial statement of Kisumu County Executive Kalon for the year ended 30th June 2024. Madam Speaker, I want to commend this particular scheme and for the unqualified opinion given by the Auditor General. I have looked at the definition of an unqualified opinion as a clean opinion, as the best type of audit opinion a company can receive, and probably the best type that can be received. It indicates that the auditor found the financial statement to be fairly presented in all material respects, as required by the financial reporting framework. And Madam Speaker, I stand to support the report that, yes, we want to commend the committee for doing a commendable job. I support the committee's work. Thank you.
Honorable Joachim Okech, Mkondele Ward.
Microphone. Thank you. I thought my microphone was not taken large, but it seems it was given something, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to make a very brief comment on the report before us. And of keen interest, Madam Speaker, is the undercapitalization of the fund. And if you see the fund getting unqualified report, it's because they have very little work to do. And if you go very deep in the same report, you can see that the fund itself is contravening its own regulations because they are underfunded by almost 112 million. So they only have 47 million to give within its members. And that alone shows that it is very little, probably is less than 40% of the capital requirement. So, Madam Speaker, the main reason why I'm airing this issue, it means that probably the fund is operating below capacity, and even those who are supposed to benefit from those particular loans are not able to get the money. And therefore, I think, Madam Speaker, that is work for us. And as the Chair of Budget and Appropriation, I think we need to dig deep. One, of course, I have seen a recommendation that probably they need to change their regulations so that the capital requirement of 150 probably be downscaled. But Madam Speaker, before we get to that level, I think we need to interrogate deep into the managers of the fund, and probably hear even from the CEC Finance why they are not able to capitalize at the base requirement of 150. Because it is a fund that helps, has a lot of beneficiaries from the executive. And I have first-hand information where they struggle so that they can benefit from this fund. And because the fund is very little, there is a lot of favoritism because most of the staff are struggling. There's a very long queue, Madam Speaker, if you dig deep, of staff who have just been requesting for loan, but because of the limitation of resource, they are not able to get it, Madam Speaker. And therefore, I think the relevant committee should be able to pick that, so that in either way, we need to be increasing the money gradually. Not, be, of course, saying that we get the remaining balance of 112 million, but gradually we should be able to annually get something into the fund so that we capitalize it at the required base of 150 million. Otherwise, I want to commend the committee for PICPAC for this good report, and also the managers of the fund. Of course, they are doing a very good job in as much as they're only managing 47 million, but it is worth commending for the good job they are doing. Otherwise, thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Bill Oliver of Kobura Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I really want to commend the management of the fund for that report they got, and qualified opinion. Madam Speaker, for life, to give that fund life, you realize there was some interest that it had to gain so that that fund over years at least will serve a bigger number depending on how the future will hold. And it's unfortunate, Madam Speaker, that instead of their projection of 1.459, they didn't realize that, and they realized 1,059,701, a gap of 399,506. Madam Speaker, I'm happy because of the opinion that was given, but again, I believe that difference with good management, if we follow the financial accounting principles, if we follow the financial management principles, they can ensure that that amount of 1.4 is reached, instead of reducing that amount to a realistic one. I believe with good practice of the financial accounting and management principles, they can bridge that gap. Madam Speaker, there also is another concern of inadequate capitalization. I believe the same. If well managed, we need not to have issues like inadequate capitalization. It means funds were prioritized elsewhere. And Madam Speaker, this is a welfare fund, according to me, Madam Speaker. It is something that should always run it is something that should always have money so that the beneficiaries of this car and loan and mortgage fund can always have money in the account. So I want to thank the the PICPAC committee for our work well done, because at least we have a clear report of what really is the picture. And the report that they have shows that we are really practicing good financial management principles, in as much as we've not done all of them well, but at least we are getting somewhere as a county. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yeah, yes. Well, Kelvin Orara.
Madam Speaker, I was following on the debate by my colleagues and also looking at the report. The report by PICPAC is not just for us to say it is good or bad, but the message that is very clear, and we need to do something as the Assembly, is that we create a fund that is supposed to be doing its activity well, an act that has regulation, then we fail to do justice to the fund or the act by giving out money. And it is clear from the report that the amount of money that was supposed to be allocated for it to work properly was 160 million. Unfortunately, only 47 has been wired into that account. Remember, the money was being sent because that was an act that was passed in this assembly of ours, Madam Speaker. And anything passed through this assembly, it means that it should be honored, being that it is a law. Madam Speaker, I was in this assembly in that year, 2016. It was almost 1 year after we were granted also the opportunity to have our own mortgage and car loan. And the act that was done for the assembly, most of the executive were also given the leeway to have that. When the law was passed, it was supposed to be implemented. And when you see a report giving us an indication that this law was passed, this amount of money was supposed to be in that fund account so that it keeps on revolving. When there's shortage of that fund in that account, then it means that they cannot work effectively. When they cannot work effectively, then the meaning of that fund is not making sense. And for that reason, the Auditor General is also acknowledging that the deficit in that fund is making the executive or those handling those funds to see that they are not honoring the regulation that they have put in place. So I think the most honorable thing that we in this house should be doing in support of the report is to ensure that the executive honor and respect the act and wire the remaining balance of 112 so that that account can be audited properly and they should be open in the operation. Remember, when they had calculation of 160 million, the 160 million was supposed to be used for that mortgage and car loan for the entire executive. Madam Speaker, I sit in a position where I'm imagining that both of us are given opportunity to serve in the executive. Then you are given a loan, I'm not given a loan, and then the reason I'm given is that first come, first serve. So it means that the money is not enough to serve most of the members in that executive. And for that reason, we either see a sense, do we do away with the act so that they don't have such a fund to handle those activities? And if you're not going to amend or do away with the fund, what else should we do as an assembly in order to make things work? So I agree with the committee in their recommendation that we need to push the executive so that they make that fund run accordingly. And when that is done, I believe the executive will have the privilege to enjoy their position by virtue of the things they are awarded by the law, so that they can also work effectively. And for the purposes of auditing, the Auditor General can always establish a good audit report where money was given to members of the executive without any form of biasness. And for that reason, Madam Speaker, I want to say that the Pick and Pack report was written in a way to give the Assembly the knowledge of what is going on. And for that reason, it is us to make the decision and see if we can follow up and make sure that the fund can run accordingly the way we had proposed in the act that we passed in this very assembly. And for that reason, I want to support the report and also agree with my colleagues that the committee did a good work. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, the debate is still on. Yes, Honorable Nancy Matara.
Yes, Madam Speaker, going by the mood of the House, may we call the mover to reply?
Yeah, Honorable Were.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me start by commending this House, my honorable colleagues who are having deliberated on this matter. Madam Speaker, going by this report, it means the management tried, and this is the best, one of the best reports that they have produced so far, considering all the audit reports that we've received. But Speaker, the House must put their feet, they must stamp the authority to ensure that the acts that are brought as a result of bills that we've passed in this House must be followed to the letter. And Madam Speaker, if that fund has to be useful to our employees, our people, then what is stipulated inside there must be followed. If the Act stated that a total of Kenya shillings 160 million was supposed to be disbursed to them, then we as a House has to ensure that that happens. We have people who are out there, they want to get mortgages, they want to buy vehicles so that the mobility can be easy. Madam Speaker, it is upon this House to ensure that we stamp our authority and ensure that our people get the best services that they deserve to get as a result of all the laws and regulations that we pass in this honorable House. Madam Speaker, we've taken consideration about the deliberation of our members. We shall input all the suggestions that have been made and that have been put forward. And Madam Speaker, I believe that the future is bright for us. And if we continue putting a lot of pressure on our executive, I believe we shall be somewhere. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I beg to reply. Thank you.
Honorable members, and now that the report by the Public Accounts and Investments Committee on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th of June 2024 has been presented, seconded and debated, and it's time for me to put a question. And I put that as many as of the opinion that this report is be adopted, say aye. As many of the contrary opinion say nay. And the ayes have it. And therefore, the report by the Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements on the Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th of June 2024 has been adopted today, Wednesday, the 28th of May 2025 at 15:17 hours. And I direct that this report, together with the Hansard report, be submitted to the relevant department for purposes of implementation. Next order, clerk.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The business of the day has been fully exhausted.
Honorable members, you can all be upstanding. And there being no any other business, this house stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, the 29th of May 2025 at 2:30 p.m.